Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Hey everybody, welcome to Midnight Run here on the Inside Edge Network. We are live. It is 12:02 in the morning here on Midnight Run. I'm in a much better mood compared to last night because we're not following a Cavs game. It's just a fresh night. Hopefully I'll be in a better mood this time tomorrow night. Hopefully the Cavs can tie up the series at 1-1. Glad to have you with us here weeknights on Midnight Run. You can follow us, like and subscribe. All of our social platforms at Inside Edge Net. We have a busy show for you today. Later in the show, we're going to debut our new segment, Midnight Conversations. That's going to be a lot of fun. And also coming up, how much money would you put down on the Cavaliers winning an NBA championship right now? I know things seem to be at its lowest. We'll talk about that coming up in about 20 minutes. But I am so excited. During my broadcasting career, I have had the opportunity to work and become friends with a lot of people, a lot of great people across the way. And for, I think, 2.5, almost 3 years, I had an opportunity to work at 92.3 The Fan here locally in Cleveland. And one of the people who works there, who does a phenomenal job, you hear him on Saturday mornings, you hear him across the way on 92.3 The Fan. You also hear him on Locked On Browns. My guy, I'm so happy to have him on live here at 12:03. My guy, Spencer German. He is on with us right now. Spencito, what's good? Good to hear from you again, buddy.
Double A, it's good to hear from you, man. I was glad to see you texting me. I'm glad to see what you're doing with yourself since I know you left the station. I'm glad our paths crossed, and I'm always happy to do stuff like this, man. It's good to catch up with you a little bit.
I appreciate it, man. How are things going just overall with family? I know you got a young one at home. I'm always appreciative when anybody can do an interview at this time of the night.
Well, unfortunately, maybe not unfortunately, but I've kind of learned to live this at this time of night. I'm often up getting work done anyway, so when you sort of told me the time, I didn't necessarily plan on being on live, but it worked out tonight where I knew I was going to be up working on some stuff. So yeah, man, it's nothing new for me, but doing pretty good. You know, it's always, you know, every day's an adventure when you have a kid at home. So you know, I make the most of trying to make it work with career and family stuff the best I can. But yeah, man, I have no complaints right now. Everything's good.
Oh, all good, all good. And I was just trying to think. I'm like, man, I don't know if this man ever sleeps because then you know you're working 7 days a week. I hear you on Saturday mornings. You or Earl the Pearl on 92.3. You guys do a great job. I almost wish Keith could let you guys call it "Wake Your Ass Up" with Earl and Spencer, but it's okay. We'll let that slide. Well, what we're not going to let slide is what happened, with game one in particular with the Cavaliers. And really just overall this entire postseason. I mean, just an overview. has this postseason so far for the Cavaliers, in your mind, has it aligned with what you have thought was going to happen with this team, or are they performing below your expectations? What are you seeing that's wrong right now with this Cavs team, just as an overview?
Yeah, it's a really good question because if you just look on the surface, AA, like I think most people would say the Cavs were a championship caliber team, or at least that their expectation should be a championship caliber team. You know, you make the trade for James Harden because you're trying to push all the chips into the center of the table and feel like you're in that you're maximizing that window that they have right now, which makes a lot of sense. But you know, it's funny, like going into the playoffs, I kind of felt like, and I mentioned this on 92.3 at one point, you know, I wouldn't be surprised with really any outcome for this team because yes, like on paper, they're an immensely talented basketball team. James Harden, even at 36, like still a guy that can contribute to this team in a meaningful way. You know what you have in Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, it feels like is finally starting to look really comfortable in the role that he plays and doing some really impressive things. And the rest of the roster, like you've changed out some pieces and parts along the way, but you're supposed to have kind of a deep group, and yeah, like you should have championship aspirations, but at the same time, the flaws that we saw in the regular season were things that I think were too glaring to ignore. Like there was from the beginning of the season, and you could argue early on, like injuries played a role in it, but you're talking about a group that energy was always a question, getting back on defense was a question, guarding the perimeter was a question. Like the problems that they had lasted through the entirety of the season. And I kept saying, like, all it's going to take is some matchup that can take advantage of those things in the postseason, and this team could absolutely lose. And it depends on where they fall in terms of the bracket and who they play. So to see them, I will say, like, I thought when they were up 2-0 in Toronto that series would be over pretty quickly. But to see them struggle the way they did and have to go 7 games, I wasn't surprised by that necessarily, because I kind of felt like this team is very volatile. They can absolutely win a championship, especially in an Eastern Conference that feels like it's very wide open. But I also think, like, if they're playing the brand of basketball that we've seen pop up throughout the regular season, and the thing that had us kind of questioning how good they could be, we've seen some of that throughout the playoffs already. And I think those bad habits have kind of left the door open on the possibility that they could lose at any time. So, you know, that's a long way of saying I wouldn't have been surprised if they had lost in the first round necessarily, because I knew this was a volatile group. But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they found a way after going 7 games to Toronto to make that run and actually end up in the finals.
So I guess you mentioned the bad habits. And again, we got Spencer German of 92.3 The Fan, Locked On Browns joining us here. I'm Midnight Run. I guess if somebody's just dropping in and, you know, they've watched a decent number of regular season games, but obviously not all 82, and they're watching the playoffs and they're like, what the hell is going on? What are some of the bad habits that you have seen, you know, that they picked up from the regular season that's carried over to the playoffs?
Yeah, I think the energy level, especially on defense, was always inconsistent. You know, that was something that was noticeable from like night one of the season, that it took guys like Jalen Tyson, who's in his second year in the league, to kind of be the guy calling other guys out for not hustling and not getting back on defense and allowing teams to get a bunch of transition points. And what do we see in the first couple rounds where there's the teams they've played, both Toronto and even in game 1 against Detroit, there's been a lot of transition buckets that have plagued them. And it, you know, that doesn't necessarily get better with the addition of James Harden. You add him because he's an offensive player. He's going to be healthy this time of year, which they couldn't depend on with Darius Garland. So I think that's a big one. I think the inability to defend the perimeter was an issue for the team, and I think you've noticed that. Like, both these first teams they've played were some of the worst teams in the league in terms of 3-point shooting, and somehow Toronto seemed to knock down everything from 3 throughout that series, and they made it kind of interesting. I think actually going into Game 7, they were shooting better from 3 than the Cavs even shot from 3. So, you know, that's problematic. And then I think with Harden in particular on the floor, I've noticed especially here in the playoffs, just this tendency to sometimes guys are just kind of standing around watching him and letting him kind of just be James Harden from the past. And the guy that had to carry teams because he's this, former MVP who's going to be a Hall of Famer and all these things. But like, I think it's important to remember, Kobe Altman said the trade deadline that acquiring James wasn't about trying to put it all on his shoulders. Like there needs to be more movement. There needs to be guys screening for him and freeing him up, but also freeing other guys up to be the ones making plays and trying to take shots. So there's a number of things. And I do think, as much as we like to say the regular season doesn't matter, I think the regular season does matter from the standpoint of, can these guys develop habits that are conducive to then go into the playoffs and winning and going on a deep run that everybody hopes they can go on. And that's why I always kind of lean into when it comes to the regular season. Sure, the results maybe don't matter as much, but what you do in your day-to-day and how you sort of what your identity becomes as a team, ultimately, I think that does translate into the postseason. So
I wonder, I promise we have a positive Cavs question coming up. He ain't there yet. James Harden. James Harden is loaded with the turnovers. I think 43 turnovers in 8 playoff games.
Yeah.
Like that. I didn't think that was a real stat, by the way, Spencer, when I saw that. But is that? I hate this question. This is like a first take level question. Is it James Harden's fault that he's committing these turnovers, or is it the fault of his teammates for not being able to get to the spots where they need to get to, therefore, or making shots, therefore forcing James Harden to play ISO ball?
Yeah, it's funny because Kenny Atkinson's answer when he was asked about the turnovers, especially from Harden, the last couple of days has been he's kind of gone with the same answer, which has been we need to think about our spacing more, we need to think about our movement more, we need to play off of James more, and I find that kind of interesting because I don't know how spacing is going to help or prevent James Harden from dribbling a ball off his foot out of bounds that then leads to a turnover, or him thinking at 36 that he's somehow just like cross over Cade Cunningham and like he dribbles the ball too much and then Cade just sticks his hand in and pokes it away and then takes it back for a dunk or passes it up ahead for a dunk or whatever. Like a lot of these, especially on Monday night, Tuesday night, were just brutally bad basketball from him and just bad decision making and him trying to sort of do too much. His usage rate has gone up in the postseason from what it was in the regular season. And it just feels like at times he's either trying to do too much or they're leaning too much onto like, let's let James kind of bail us out. And that's not what he was brought here to do. So I think Kenny's probably onto something a little bit where it's like guys can help him out and not just stand around and try to free him up, but also screen guys and maybe get somebody else open for an open look. But I think more than anything, especially on the heels of what happened on Tuesday, I think it mostly falls on James Harden with turnovers because it's just his mistakes, and he's got to be able to clean it up because if they're going to have any hope of making a deep run, it like Harden has to be better for them. He just absolutely has to be.
Spencer German of 92.3 The Fan, Locked On Browns, joining us here for a couple more minutes. So let's turn our attention to tomorrow night or Thursday night, whatever you want to call it. Later on tonight is game 2. And I'm just curious, at this stage now, I'm watching these other teams, and when they win games, they have legitimate go-to scorers. You put the ball in their hands, they make plays, they put the ball in the basket, no problem. It seems to me, I'm trying to think on a game-by-game basis, like Jared Allen could have a standout performance offensively, like Game 7 was amazing. But like, where's Donovan Mitchell for stretches of action that you could depend on? I guess in order to get a W, especially on the road, which player on our team, on the Cavs, can we turn to and say, hey, we're going to put the ball in your hands and you can create plays, you can put the ball in the basket?
I think that's supposed to be Donovan, to your point. And I'd love to know what's maybe gone through his head these first 8 games he's played. I will say this, like I think the Toronto series, Toronto is just that's a tough matchup for Donovan because they are so wing dominant in their roster construction. They have a lot of long guys, and they were just sending 2 guys up top and saying and kind of bracketing Donovan and saying, all right, make a decision. Are you going to try to dribble around us? We're not going to let you. We're too long. Are you going to try to pass around us? We're going to get our hands up and knock those passes down. Donovan loves to split double teams. It's part of his game. There was a couple to split double teams and he turned the ball over because the Raptors were just so good at slashing at the ball and getting it out and all these things. So I do think that matchup just left him kind of flummoxed when it comes to how to attack it, how to work around it. I just think they were really that team's really well equipped to defend what Donovan does best and what this Cavs team does best. I think in this Pistons series, and I do think you saw it a little bit on Tuesday, he was able to get downhill and kind of get to the basket a little bit more. But for some reason, he had like the 5th most usage on the team in the second half or something like that. I think it was and I think some of that sort of falls on James Harden and what we just talked about. Like he's just trying to do too much, I think, at times. But Donovan has to be like your go-to weapon, right? Like he has to be able to get downhill, try to score, get him the ball. He can't be like down the list of guys that are touching the ball in key situations. He has to be near the top of that list, if not at the top of that. So I think he's obviously number one, and I do think this series will allow him to be more of himself, even though like a guy like Asar Thompson's a really good defender and can give him some trouble. But I think the other, and obviously James has a role in that as well. But I do think Evan Mobley is the other person I sort of look at and say, good things have happened through this playoffs and for this Cavs team when he touches the ball. They have to get the ball, and Evan Mobley's saying his usage certainly has to be up. He only had, I think, 23 touches in the mid-court or the half court, excuse me, on Tuesday night. And
that's too low.
Yeah, like he has to touch the ball more. He has to. Like people were there. I saw some people trying to criticize Evan Mobley for the other night. I was like, that's not his fault. Like he had 14 points. He made the most of when he was getting the ball, but like he needs to touch it more when it comes to trying to be a scoring threat and getting him involved. And that's not always on him because guys like James Harden, guys like Don, who are the facilitators of this offense, they have to get him the ball. So I do think Evan is pivotal to everything the Cavs want to accomplish. And they got to certainly get him more involved than he was on Tuesday night.
All right, Spencer, I can't let you go without a Browns question, Representative Lockdown Browns. So 2 questions for you. One of them might piss off people. Let's start with the one that won't piss off people. Talk about the draft and what the Browns were able to do with the draft. What were your biggest takeaways from their draft strategy?
Yeah, at first, I was, I don't want to say like stunned, but I was a little shocked because Andrew Berry talks so much about not being crippled by your needs that it ended up being like the way the first round played out was, hey, we're going to get our 2 biggest needs taken care of on the offensive line, a tackle, and then double down on wide receiver the next 2 picks after that. So I was kind of surprised that it played out that way. I thought for sure, like when they traded back to 9 and Caleb Downs was still there, that they were going to take Caleb Downs just because he was the best player available. But they ended up going with Spencer Fano. I think Fano has a chance to be really, really good. I know we always make a big deal out of the arm length thing, but his athleticism is undeniable, and he even talked about that afterwards. Like, I don't think it has to be a hindrance to me because I'm a pretty good athlete, and I think there's a real good chance that he could become your left tackle of the future and lock that spot down like everyone's kind of hoped because he looks really good. So I liked that pick. There's maybe tackles I liked as much or up there more than Fano, but I was okay with Fano from Jump Street as the pick if that's who it ended up being. And then a receiver, like I had some questions about Casey Concepcion and the drops and all those things in college, but I think some of those, if you go back and watch the tape, weren't even his fault. Like the quarterback play hindered him at times. So I ended up overall liking the thought process on that pick and getting a guy that you just ball to and can make plays. Denzel Boston's kind of the opposite of Casey Concepcion, so he fits really well. And as you kind of played out the rest of the draft, it was clearly bolstering the offensive line. Andrew Berry got 4 guys in the first 4 picks he made that all at one point were considered like first round graded players by different teams or different draft analysts. So I think Andrew Berry did a great job. I think he came away with another good draft class. I always like to preface that with the idea that, listen, they got to go out and play first. We don't know anything about these guys. I think value-wise, we can say it was a good draft, but we have to see them first. But yeah, like I think there's a lot to like about the class they came away with. The fact that it addressed needs, set this offense up for success, and to potentially find out the answers at quarterback that everybody kind of wants, because there's finally a group around that position that seems like it can support it and uplift it. So we'll see how that all shakes out. I also will say the Parker Brailsford pick is interesting because I wonder if he's going to compete for the starting job and if that sort of plays a role into what this offensive line looks like. So, yeah, but in overall, I think everyone who's raved about Andrew Berry's draft class was right in doing so. I think he did a good job getting value on guys that have a chance to contribute pretty quickly here.
So my last question. Is he building are the Browns building an office for Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson?
I think that's the age-old question, right? That everyone wants to know. Here's what I would say. Like, I think what we have to do in this conversation or in this this Browns quarterback competition is separate maybe like, and I don't know where you stand on this AA, but separate maybe what we want for understanding what maybe is most conducive for the Browns in terms of winning. And listen, I don't need to see anything else from Deshaun Watson. Don't. Like, that guy's that trade has been a disaster. He hasn't been that player that he was brought in to be in 6 years. And the fastest way to fall behind in this league is to not play consistently, because the game changes fast. And so there's nothing else I can learn or garner from him. He's here because he has to be, because you can't cut him right now. And that's the main reason that he's here. So I don't want to see him play. I'd rather see Shedeur Sanders. I think there's something to learn from Shedeur Sanders. I think there's maybe a chance he turns out to be your franchise quarterback. And there was some promise last year that has me intrigued. So I'd much rather see him start the season under center. But I can't be surprised if this ends with Todd Monken choosing Deshaun Watson, because here's the thing, man. Like, when they're out on the practice field and they're throwing the football around and they're drawing up plays and running certain things, the guy who has the most experience in that room, and the guy who at one point was a top 5 quarterback, and the guy who, in terms of like overall talent as players in this league, he at least had that at one point, and probably had more than the guys that he's going up against. I mean, listen, it's a guy who's a veteran in this league who was at one point a top 5 quarterback, who's seen a lot, against 2 guys who are going into their second season. Like, Deshaun has seen more things in his career. He's probably forgotten more things in his career as a quarterback than than Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel have even learned yet. So would it shock me if he looks the best at practice, which is going to be the biggest indicator of how they choose their quarterback? No, it wouldn't at all. And Todd Monken's coming in, first-time head coach at the age of 60. Like, he's got to win now. So he has to prove that he was the right hire and try to get the most out of this first year. So, like, if I see him out of practice, or they're telling us that he's the best quarterback at practice, that would not stun me in the least. And I could see them ultimately settling on him. Is that what I want? No, because I'm good with the Deshaun Watson experience, but I do understand where he could end up looking like the best quarterback out on the football field every day at practice. And Todd Monken is going to be the one who makes the decision based off of that more than anything. And so people have to be understanding that, like, that's how this thing could play out. And honestly, if Deshaun can't beat out 2 guys coming off of their rookie seasons that were wildly inconsistent anyway, does he even belong in this league anymore? You know what I mean? Like,
what do you do?
Yeah, right. Like, he kind of should be able to beat those guys. So I'm keeping an open mind to that. And I understand where, like, the reports are coming from that he's looked like the best so far. It makes a lot of sense to me, even if it's not what I want to see.
Yeah. Boy, it's such a headache. You guys do a great job over at the Fan Locked On Browns cover. How can people find you, buddy?
Yeah, you see my Twitter handle on there at Spencito _. As Anthony said, Locked On Browns is my daily podcast I do on the Browns. always there's a new episode or multiple episodes sometimes up every single day. So make sure you head over there and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as Double A mentioned earlier in the show too, Earl the Pearl, my guy, and I hosting 92 to the Fan, 8 to noon every Saturday. So appreciate those of you who've tuned in the past. And if we get any new listeners out of this, I appreciate you guys for stopping on by as well.
You and Earl do a phenomenal job on Saturday mornings. Y'all have me rolling. Yeah, I got a barbershop appointment this weekend. I'm like, man, you guys are good stuff. All right, we got a break. Spencer, thanks again for joining us here late here on Midnight Run.
Double A, anytime, man. Appreciate the invite. And anytime you need me, let me know.
I appreciate it. We'll take a break, come back, have more of Midnight Run right after this.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Chad, Brian, Eli Moon. We just finished up another episode of Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network, and it was a great episode. If you missed it, you got to go back and check it out. We obviously first paid our respects and honor to Ted Turner and John Sterling, who both passed away this week. Significant losses for the broadcasting world and the multimedia world. Then we pivoted and we did talk about the NBA playoffs. You know, obviously a lot of stuff going on. Joel Embiid, Luka Doncic nursing injuries. And I made a bold take regarding those Los Angeles Lakers. Well, I'll have to have you watch it and let me know what you think. Of course, then we went way back with my guy, Chad Bryant. Chad, I get worried when you go in that time machine. Are you doing all right?
Yeah, sometimes I hit the time machine and it puts me in a nostalgia mode. We did that tonight. We checked what happened on not this date, but on May 6th. We checked what happened on May 6th, all back to the annals of time. Some of it was sports. Some of it may have been entertainment. You'll have to check it out to see.
Absolutely. You can find all of that great stuff and so much more here on Inside Edge Primetime on the Inside Edge Network. Make sure you give us a follow at Inside Edge Net on all the socials. Go check out the website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. And tomorrow, you are not going to want to miss this. We have a lot of great stuff to talk about, including some things I got to get off my chest regarding the Browns quarterback room and people, let's just say people, that keep talking about it. See you tomorrow.
Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Want to thank Spencer German from 92.3 The Fan and Locked On Browns for joining us. Great interview. Great. Spencer's right in there. Of course, with the Cavaliers and Browns, all that information. A couple interesting notes that we talked about. The Brown stuff, we have plenty of time to talk about, but the outlook of what he talked about, again, a very impressive draft class by all accounts. But who this offense is being built for, that's the million-dollar question. And I would imagine you have all off season to figure that out with the Browns. I do want to zero in on what he talked about briefly with the Cavs. The bad habits, right? Bad habits are amplified in the playoffs. So when you're talking about not getting back on transition, lazy defense, Kenny Atkinson, we played the audio multiple times following a Tuesday night regular season nationally televised game against Orlando. The Cavaliers, throughout the regular season, thought, we can continue to make these mistakes as long as we're outscoring our opponents. We could shoot our way back into ball games. No problem. That is a problem because when you're facing more skilled teams, it's not that simple of just shooting your way back in. In a weird way, though I'm very happy that we won the game and moved on in the playoffs, I kind of did not like how Game 7 played out in terms of habits because they came out slow in Game 7. They were down by 10. They had lazy defense. Thank goodness for Dennis Schroeder for saying something to Donovan Mitchell. And they went on a scoring run and got back in, but you still saw some bad habits there in Game 7. So here in Game 1 of this Detroit series, slow start. I mean, Donovan Mitchell got going early, but then Detroit went on a run. So again, slow start. And all of a sudden, you're down double digits. James Harden, no matter, and I love what Spencer had to say here. Yes, teammates may not be getting to their spots. Yes, the spacing might be an issue. Yes, things are happening on the floor that shouldn't be happening. But spacing has nothing to do with James Harden dribbling the ball off of his foot. Spacing and his teammates not being in the right spots has nothing to do with the ball just going the other way. That's on James Harden. But at the same token, who is going to be that reliable go-to scorer? And if the Cavaliers cannot get out of their bad habits, this time next week, we're going to be preparing for the end of the season press conference for the Cavaliers. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter segment here because we got Midnight Conversations coming up at 12:40, 6 minutes from now, Midnight Conversations. But let me bring in Eli because I do have a question for my producer, host of Inside Edge Primetime, and producer for all 3,000 programs here on this network.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, I'll tell you what, Double A. I know we'll be quick, but W Energy's been saving my life. Make sure you use the code InsideEdge10, get the 10% off. I mean, and stock up because you see me, I look like I haven't slept. Well, it's because I haven't. All right, back to you.
And also remember too, if you're a content creator, digital content creator, business decision maker, Omega Video Marketing, make sure you check out our girl, Megan Gallagher. Her email, meganrg440@gmail.com, meganrg440@gmail.com. Omega Video Marketing, 4-time Emmy Award-winning producer here across Northeast Ohio. Eli, question for you.
Yes.
So, I think confidence is at an all-time low in terms of the Cavaliers winning a championship. In fact, what did I say to you? I believe the Cavaliers at this moment, 40-1 odds to win the title. So that's behind OKC, San Antonio. Basically, the only teams we're ahead of is Philadelphia and the Los Angeles Lakers. So, how much money would I be safe right now if I put down $10 on the Cavaliers winning the championship? How much would I win?
So my math, I'm glad you asked because earlier today they were plus 3,000 to win. So now plus 40-1. So I believe plus 4,000. So just quick math there, that would win you $400 off a $10 bet. Double A. I mean, you could do a lot of things with $400. I'm just gonna be real with you. You could do a lot of things with $400. Responsible things, irresponsible things, unhinged behavior, not unhinged behavior. A lot of great things. I'd probably put like $20 on it. $20, you win $800. I could take, maybe a beautiful woman out to dinner or something. I mean, who's kidding? But you have so many options. I'd say like, $20 is like my max. And that's like, me, I'm the 50-cent parlay guy. So $20 on a parlay is like, all right. And I don't know if I would do 20, but the juice, double A. It's all about the juice too. Like, we don't have enough time really in this segment to go over it, but it's all about the juice. You don't look for the minus 250. Those are the ones that usually like break your parlay, and then you're mad.
Yes.
You look for the juice, like plus 400, plus 350, but they got some odds. Like Minnesota the other day, I think was like plus 300, if not higher, and they won game 1. That is something that I like. That's juice right there. The Lakers plus 700 the other night. They didn't get it done. Still like the juice. Cavs 40-1 to win the odds. Love the juice. But is the juice worth the squeeze? I'm not sure. I mean,
right now, this is the best. Let's be real. If we were having this, we can't have this conversation if like the Cavs are down 3-0, right? That's not. Come on now. Yeah. But at this moment right now, because if they win tomorrow, you're not gonna win as much money because the odds are gonna shoot. It's gonna be better odds if they win tomorrow because you stole home court advantage. But these are quite. You did mention what would you do with $400? That's 2 trips to the gas station with these gas prices. When we come back, Midnight Conversations, a brand new Wednesday night segment. We'll either do this one time or never, or multiple times. We'll see. If you've been seeing the promos throughout the week, I had an interesting question about certain life situations that you think about at midnight. Myself, Eli, our special Inside Edge Network contributor, Omar, is going to join the show. When we come back from break, we're going to dive into Midnight Conversations. If someone died in your living room, is it still a living room? And other conspiracy questions that you think about at this time of night. Double A Anthony Alford, we're back after this.
Maser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Maser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MaserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MaserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at SportsMemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the SportsMemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to SportsMemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. SportsMemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Hey guys, Kyle here from the Inside Edge Podcasting Network and Unfiltered. What a show today. Obviously broke down a lot about the elections here this past day, all the way from state to local races, the levies, all of that stuff. Talked too about the Cavs. They're going to be playing tomorrow night. Excited for that. And also about a couple different things in the news. All that and more, including the possibility about metal detectors here in a local school district coming up on the show tomorrow, Thursday, May 7th. I will see you then here on Unfiltered on the Inside Edge Podcasting Network.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Remember to like and subscribe and hit that follow button at InsideEdge Net across all of our socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. We're on there as well. TikTok, Twitter, or X. We're all there. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hit the notification bell right below us. You'll get all the alerts here on the Inside Edge network. Little programming note as well, a couple of them. We'll have full Cavs post-game coverage tomorrow. Again, all one stream. Eli Moon, Chad Bryant. They'll have you covered with the Cavs post-game, Inside Edge prime time, and then we'll be back on tomorrow night at midnight. And also the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast. Friday morning, myself and Kyle Cornell, we're going to talk about Ted Turner. Eli and Chad did a great job overall talking about Ted Turner, but we're going to talk about billionaire Ted. He would be cool with that because Ted Turner, right along with Vince McMahon, the two of the men who were responsible for really propelling professional wrestling to where it's at today. So we'll spend some extensive time on the Side Hustle podcast Friday morning talking about Ted Turner and Monday Night Wars and stuff. You'll hear from Eric Bischoff, what he had to say about Ted Turner and all that stuff. So that's coming up Friday morning here on the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast. Now, I mentioned earlier in the show, we had Spencer German on from 92.3 The Fan, Locked On Browns. Great interview. If you missed it, go back and watch it. Talking Cavs and Browns. So for like 3 years, or close to 3 years, I worked on the morning show at 92.3 The Fan. Ken Carmen, Anthony Lima, my guy Owen, great job. Jeff Thomas. It was phenomenal. It was a great job. Worked with a lot of great people. But obviously, that was like early in the morning, up at 3 a.m., getting myself ready to go. And I've never really stayed up this late that often, ever. So when I first announced to our team here at the Inside Edge Network, hey, I'm going to do a show at midnight. Are you okay, Double A? Are you good? Are you okay? You good? And then I realized, occasionally when you stay up late, thoughts come into your head where you're just like, whoa. So I figured it's 12:43. Why the hell not? Let me bring in my buddies, Eli and Omar. Come on to the screen. They're both here. Inside Edge Network, all that stuff. By the way, we have another programming announcement at some point next week.
Oh, I'm excited.
Ooh, sometime next week. Stay tuned.
I'm excited. Oh, okay.
Good. Programming announcement coming up next week.
Love it.
Major programming announcement coming up next week.
Okay.
I got Eli and Omar here.
Yes.
Because the thoughts I had in my head, I mean, it ain't just Randy Orton who's having voices in his head here, folks.
Yeah, Double A. It only took about 4, 5, 6 months of you doing this show. I just say 4, 5, 6 all the time. I don't know how many. I'm losing track. I don't sleep. W Energy. Remember code Inside Edge 10. With that being said, yeah, Double A. We had a feeling eventually we'd get on Hinge, and well, we're here, and we had to bring in Omar. Obviously, as you mentioned, Inside Edge Network contributor. Just stay tuned. As Double A said, we got a lot of great stuff with the network coming up, but. Yeah, this is unhinged, and I knew I couldn't handle this myself, so we got Omar in here, and yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Happy to be here.
First off, Omar, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm living life, hanging out, watching Midnight Run all the time on the Inside Edge Network.
I should have brought Omar in, like, long-time listener, first-time caller. Or second-time caller. We've had Omar, Eli and Omar have actually done some stuff on the network not too long ago. So
yeah, we did some draft coverage.
Yeah. So a lot of good stuff. All right, man. we're not going to beat around the bush anymore. One of the thoughts that came into my head. So I'll explain kind of what happened. I went online and I was like, thoughts you think about it at midnight. What happens if you're high? What questions do you think about when you're high?
I couldn't tell you.
And do a deep dive. No, we couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you.
But we came across a few topics that we're going to go over right now. Here we go.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
All right, number one. You've been seeing it in the promos. I think it almost broke Kyle. I watched Unfiltered earlier.
Yeah, we almost had to run like another sponsor, give a little bit extra love or something. I mean, my goodness gracious, Double. Maybe prepare Kyle next time.
Okay, so here it is. Number one, if someone dies in a living room, if they just, that's it. Is it still a living room? My answer is no.
Okay.
My answer is absolutely not. The living room is for the living. I personally believe that if that happened, I got to move out. That can't be my living room anymore.
But in fairness to that, and let's start the discussion. In fairness to that, doesn't everybody live and die typically at one point in the living room? Like you've experienced life and death because they're gone and they were not in the living room anymore. My other thing to that Double A is like, how did they die in the living room? Or I don't know if we can keep saying die, but how many times can we?
Not alive. I'm sorry. I'll put that in my notes. Not alive.
Yeah, pass. Yeah, I mean, if somebody passed, I mean, like I guess, like Omar. Well, yeah, I'm curious your thoughts too. Like, am I wrong here by thinking if they had a good time when they went out? Because what if they were celebrating? Like, this is my 95th birthday, and this is how I want to go out right here in my living room that I spent my entire life in. They're blowing birthday cake candles out, and you can't say there's more life than a 95-year-old celebrating in their living room they've been in their entire life, Double A. So I think that we need more context. Omar, am I right?
Yeah, you're completely right. And I'm pretty sure somebody died in my house too. I don't know which room. But yeah, they passed naturally in this house. Dude,
I mean, so Double A, are you good? Come on.
But there's
my house is also haunted, by the way.
I figured.
You did have to add that part. We figured when you said the first part.
I can confirm. I didn't want to say nothing, but I can confirm. But I'm not saying the entire house, right? I'm not saying it's like it all ends at a hospital or anything like that. I'm just saying, okay, Eli, I can listen to what you said though, right?
Yeah.
I guess you're living it up until it's done. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, like, how are you going to tell me that the 95-year-old person that I'm using this scenario that's like blowing out the birthday cake, the candles, and everybody's singing, and they got the birthday hats. Double, you remember the hats, the little triangle hats, little cones. You wear those on your head. Elmer, I know you know what I'm talking about. You guys,
I have one in my office.
We put those. You have those on. Everybody's singing, and as soon as they blow out the candles, that's it. You're telling me that's not a living room anymore?
Are you not to the rest of the party?
Oh well, what do you consider as a living room exactly? Like what is a living room?
Yeah,
wouldn't that be? That's
because one of my exes decided, the room with the fireplace and the room that you first walk into when you open the front door. She decided, no, that's not going to be the living room. That's going to be the dining room now.
Your gathering place? Yeah. I don't know.
In fairness, too, a lot of people don't even use living rooms half the time anymore. I mean, like, let's be real. Living rooms are a little outdated. Now it's like dining room, living room combinations or things of that nature. I mean, a lot of people are on the go. They're in their room watching
the open floor plans and everything like that. We're all modernized. But I don't know, man.
The room that has a television.
Yeah.
How many living rooms have TVs?
I mean, ours does. I'm looking at it right now. But
I mean, most do. I mean, some houses, depending on how many rooms you have. I mean, sometimes you don't.
Yeah. Does a TV dignify the living room, Double? Is that what you're trying to say? That you have to have a TV for it to be a living room?
You have to. When I was growing up, our living room, we did not have a TV.
Okay.
We did not. We had a TV in our basement. We had TVs in the bedrooms, but not the living room. The living room was considered the quiet gathering area.
Okay.
Family time.
I just double A. I mean, that's a tough question, but I'm going to be honest with you.
No, it's for the living.
She was living 95 years in this house.
We're not talking about the rest of the residents. We're not talking about the rest. Like, okay, if something happened in your bedroom,
okay,
there's still a bed in there.
Yeah. But if nobody's there to lay in the bed, is it a bedroom?
Talk to a contractor, it's still a bedroom.
But it's still a bedroom, and it's
still a living room.
Still a living room because nobody's
living.
Somebody's gonna go live.
But those are different people.
Well, they're dead now, so it'll be a living room for somebody else.
It takes away the purpose of the name of the room.
Double A.
Dining room. Listen, hear me out. The dining room will always be for what? Dining, right? Sure.
Now let me ask you this:
set the table. Hold up. You can still set the table. You can still serve drinks and eat dinner, whatever you want. The kitchen will always be for food storage, for drink storage. It will always be there. The bathroom will still have a functioning toilet as long as you pay your bills. The toilet will be there. A sink, a bathtub, it'll be there. The living room, it loses its purpose if you're dead.
Actually, I'll take that back. And here's my final point. I know we have a few more questions to get to here. Here's my final point. If Omar is saying his house is haunted and there's a ghost in the living room, then technically there is life. In some degree, there is life in that living room. And that's my final closing statement on this question.
I have thoughts on that. We're short of time. I think that's BS too, but we'll move on to the next one. We might come back to that.
I hope we do.
Next week. All right, here's the next one. And Omar, I'll let you jump in first. So let's say you're in a heated discussion, something's going on, inconvenience, anything going on like that. If somebody comes to you and says, Omar, you need to calm down. Has anyone ever actually calmed down after being told by another adult to calm down?
In the heat of the moment, I don't think so, brother.
No!
I don't think so. Especially if it's your significant other. Oh God, no. You better not utter those words.
Yeah. And the funny thing, Omar, too, is like I'm guilty of it. I'm so guilty of it where somebody's like, calm down. And I'm like, I am calm. Like,
well, that's your natural reaction to a situation. You're just like, yeah, you remain calm, straight up. But
where this comes from?
Trigger words, bro.
I just thought about this. You know where this comes from?
Trigger words. Like, I'm ready to go.
Right. I think this comes from, when you're younger, you get a whooping from your parents.
Yeah.
You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
By the way, Johnny Manziel's going to debut in boxing. That alert just came into my phone.
Double A, we don't have enough fictional stories to tell tonight and midnight conversations. Do it.
No. Okay, let me get back to this. Thank you. I'm going to stay focused. So when your parents start whooping you and it hurts, and your parents just like, stop crying before I give you something to cry about.
I'm already crying, and there is something. Yeah, there's something to cry about right now, and I'm doing it. No, you can't
like
tell somebody to calm down.
Psychological damage.
And here,
telling somebody to calm down, Eli. I think it's to Omar's point. I think it's the same level of damage.
Yeah, it's like poking and prodding. Like, what you just said, whatever provoked me or whoever to get not calm was out of line. And so now you want me to calm down. I'm Irish, so I got corned beef and potatoes rushing through my veins when I get angry. So you want me to completely just shut my Irish anger down. You want me to calm down. You want me to calm down. You want me to calm down. I'm calm. Are you calm? that's like how it escalates. So I think in certain situations, I got better with my words. I think if you say it in a nicer way, like, hey, calm down. It's okay. It's okay. And you maybe give a hug, like maybe, but like,
yeah, tell the person to like step away and just take a minute and breathe and process what's actually happening. Like pre-medicated brain me, oh my gosh. You tell me to calm down, I'm flipping out, man. I am instigating. I'm going in further. Like medicated me now, like no. Like
yeah.
I think you both
somebody comes at me like that, I just need to process it, dude. Like if I'm in a situation where like I'm that heated or something's going on and you just got to take a second, breathe.
I think you both hit on a great point though. It's not necessarily the words. It is the words, but it's also the tone.
Right.
Yes.
It's the delivery. Everything. It goes into it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will give my ex credit for one thing here, because usually when she did it, it was like in a calming voice. Take a breath. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But the problem was at times, because I was immature, that even backfired on my behalf, because it's like, what do you mean I need to calm down? I can't be at the level that you're at right now.
Well, and here's my last thing. I like I said, I know we're short on time. My last thing before we get to the next question, Double A, is if you say like calm down and you say it in a nice tone, you can completely reverse all that goodwill by then telling me a bunch of things that I need to work on. That's like the worst follow up.
That's a good point.
Calm down.
That's a
You're
good
doing
point.
great, but we just need to work on this, and this.
Crash
out. Okay.
That's what it is. Now you're building me back up to crashing out. And now that's a whole other set of worms, and we got problems.
Oh, I can't wash my reds with my darks. Okay, we'll find out. All right, look, back to you.
I think that happened upstairs. Okay.
Trauma. Yeah.
You need a condom. We could do a whole episode about never mind. Next one, real quick here before we wrap. Eli, this is actually up your alley. This is the one you wanted to keep.
Yeah.
Eyebrows. Do you consider eyebrows to be facial hair?
This is a tough one, man. This is a real tough one.
We went over this last night in our post-show meeting. 24 hours later, I'm still. Where are you at with this one?
Yeah, it's tough. I'm curious Omar's thoughts on this too. It's like, because I have a decent beard, I have a decent mustache, so I'm not really struggling in the facial hair department. But I mean, if I were, because I'm debating cutting the long hair and maybe tuning up, I might go babyface Moon for the first time in a long time. Then would I then have these guys, like two mustaches that are considered eyebrows on my eyes? Like, it's technically, Double A, let's just break it down here. What is facial hair? It's hair that's on your face. Last time I checked, these things are on my face. And they got hair on them. Yeah, they got. So that wouldn't it be facial hair, Omar? Like that's facial hair. It's just a different.
Are you told, Omar, you got to be clean shaven? So does clean shaven mean you need to be naked up top too?
Well, I think there's a distinct difference between beard hair, like everything down here and everything up here. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they are kind of little mustaches on your face, as Eli alluded to, but
Omar, it's facial hair. It is literally in the name. It's on your face.
It is facial hair.
I hate to share this. I did have an employee in the past when I was supervising. We used to have, facial hair requirements, and he wasn't all the way clean shaven and stuff. I'm like, you need to go back home and shave. He came back to work. He shaved this too.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No.
We looked at him. We looked at him. It's like, are you new here?
Bro, I knew we were gonna get on Hinge.
Are you new here? Do you need an application?
Double A.
And we let him work. Hold up. And then we let him work. All right, cool. We let him work. And then, like, an hour into his shift, he was like, my face is itching. I'm like,
put some shaving cream or some aftershave.
You didn't put aftershave. Because, okay, if at my previous place of employment, way back when,
yes,
Cedar Point, if you did not shave, you obviously couldn't go home and, get your phenomenal razor, 4-bar, 5-bar, 5-star razor. We had your classic 1970s 2-bar razor. So that's just hurting. So this dude shaved this.
Double, you probably intimidated him. You probably said, I want all your
rules.
I want all your facial.
We would get write-ups we would get write-ups if we did not enforce the shaving policy.
But you maybe should have specified.
I didn't think I had to.
I mean, honestly, yeah, you really don't have to. He could go see the other employees who are also clean shaven with their eyebrows still attached. Like, what?
The only other
I think he did it as a statement, Eli. I think he did it as a statement. He's
I was going to say that's the only thing.
Are you happy now? Are you happy?
The only thing I can think of, Double A, I know we got to put a bow on this in a second. That's the only thing I can think of. That's a fashion statement. That is a fashion statement. I will say this. If I do shave the hair and the facial, this doesn't count as facial hair for that moment. This doesn't count. You will not see eyebrowless Eli Moon. I won't. I love y'all, and I love everybody out there too much to do that to them.
My question, though, and then we're done. And then we're done.
Okay.
I promise.
Yeah.
So if you're teaching somebody how to shave, and they get a razor for the first time, and they didn't do any studying, and they go up here first, when do you stop them? If you start,
it's over. It's over.
You gotta finish the job. I think the employee did it as a joke at first. It's like here, and then it's like you can't be walking around with a half-ass eyebrow.
Looking like Dwayne The Rock Johnson raising his eyebrow. Come on, Double A. Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine?
Bro was probably like fixing his edges and then just like,
yeah. That has happened to me before too.
Oh, dude, it's a scary moment.
There have been adjustments made with facial hair because you try to get the edges and stuff, and you go a little too far.
Dude, I've had some scary situations. I've had some scary situations. Just talking about losing hair. One time when I was still smoking cigarettes and I had the long hair, I forgot to pull my hair back, and I lit the lighter, and it started smoking on my hair, and it started going up this, and I caught it luckily, and I just started like tapping it out like Michael Jackson did in that Coca-Cola commercial. But I was in trouble, pal. I was in trouble, guys. I got it out in time. Luckily, I still got the long hair. This is like the second rendition of it, but yeah, make sure if you're a smoker, you're smoking cigarettes, or as Double A said, I guess if you're at home and because you're not, you're rocking at home, so you can do whatever you'd like. If you're indulging at home, make sure if you have long hair, pull your hair back. Don't catch your hair on fire. Come on.
Let's talk about fire safety now.
That's next week, Omar.
Don't tell us that we're not an educational service. We're done. That's the first installment of Midnight Conversations. I don't know if we're doing this again. We'll do this again. There's like 50 of these we need to do. We'll do the soap thing. So next week, now I can't even stop touching this.
Don't shave it tonight. I know it's gonna bug you now that you think it's facial hair.
Now this is bugging me. Oh man. All right, question to think about for next week, and we'll have a few more. So let's say you drop the soap. Oh wait, pause. Let me rephrase that.
Whoa.
Don't drop that thun. Hey. Okay. You drop the soap in the bathtub on the floor. Is the tub clean or is the soap dirty?
I don't know. I got to think on that one.
Yeah. Also, if my personal favorite is water, is water wet?
Double A, we're on Hinge, pal. We've made it. We're on Hinge officially.
I promise you right now, if you went up to our buddy Jake Underwood, because we had spirited conversations when I was at WTAM about, I personally believe water does not equal that you're wet, because what's the definition of being wet?
Double A, I love you. You should put a bow on this because
What's
we're
the
about to get into
definition
a
of
water.
being wet?
No, don't do it. Don't
What is
do it.
the
We'll go till
definition of
2.
being wet?
We'll go till 2. I swear, we'll go till 2.
What?
Water is wet.
No, it's not. No,
They
it's
both
not.
start with W's.
No, it's
We,
not.
He, she, wumbo.
Water is
wet.
not wet.
Oh my golly.
No, it's
Oh, my
not.
golly.
Does SpongeBob SquarePants think that he's wet?
He doesn't know any better. He's never lived.
He doesn't know. No, he's not.
He was
wet.
drying out. Do you not remember Shell City? He was drying out. He sure as hell knew about the water then. Shit was different there for SpongeBob. Shell City was way different for. All right, send us home.
We'll see you tomorrow on Midnight Run. Good night, everybody.